Hello guys, how are we doing and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at 4 pro class setups they're using when they're scrimming and playing 8s in tournaments at the moment, so that if you guys also want to try and use their setups, whether you're playing in 8s yourself, whether you're playing tournaments on CMG or COD Agent, or whether you simply just want to use the pro class setup so that when ranked play does drop eventually, you're ready to use it and you're going in strong. This video is going to be for you. So we're going to be reviewing Dashy, Scraps, Abezzy and Shotsy's class setup. Obviously there's no bias there. They're ones that have just simply been open with what they're using, and they're pretty good. I've seen some pro class setups where you look at it on Twitch and it's like, doesn't work well, and they clearly are using something different. So this is actually what they are using. So we're going to be diving into each of the class setups themselves, and then we're going to be taking a look at what perks, equipment, those sort of things you're going to want to use as well. So we're kicking it off with Dashy's M15. He's got the Elo sight, the Redwell muzzle, fusion barrel, the contraband rear grip, and the Wonder stock. Now the reason Dashy uses this stock in particular is because it enables that really fast strafe speed, which is key to his sort of gameplay, where you can ADS and strafe really quickly. You've also got the benefit of recoil stabilization and vertical recoil and horizontal recoil control from those two. And then the barrel pretty much gives you the ability to use it at solid ranges as well. We're then going to move into Scraps, so slightly different. He has the RL brake muzzle, which I prefer this, if I'm being completely honest with you. This is the one I like to use because between the first and second shot, there's a little bit of a gap when you use dashes. Now with this one, obviously you can see that the first shot recoil control is minimum, which means that when you are first shooting, your aim is less likely to go up from that point. And for me, this is just nicer to beam people off headies for. You also notice the only difference here is that, other than that, is he doesn't have the stock. Instead, he does have that recoil stabilization buffer spring. This is the class you're going to want to use if you don't want to miss. Okay, Dashes is really nice for that strafe speed, but this is, you lose some of that strafe speed. However, the recoil control is really strong. So what we're going to do here, we're going to hop into the firing range and just show you the recoil pattern without touching it. So I am literally just using, there we have it. So it's relatively straightforward. It goes up and then very slightly veers left, but it's fairly easy to read. And we're just going to, before we move on to the subs, just take a quick look at Dashy's as well while we're here. By the way, if you want to do this yourself, you just press down on the D-pad. So you can see right here, it's a little bit more shaky. The vertical recoil initially is a lot higher, and it's just harder to do those headers. So as I say, Scraps one, which is the second one I showed you, is going to be the more versatile one you're going to want to use. And obviously I'm going to use leave the build code up on screen for a little bit longer throughout all of these bits and bobs. So if you want to pick it up and just type that in, you can do. Now moving on to the subs. So as I say, I've got Shotsy's and Abezzy's Dravek. This seems to be the SMG of choice currently. We're going to be diving into Shotsy's class just here. So he uses the Hawker Hybrid, the Verse Barrel, the Front Gate Fast Reload, the Herald Grip, and the Heritage Stock. The reason for these I'm going to go into. The muzzle, you might be questioning why. Because of the way Omni movement works and the advanced wall bouncing works in this game, being able to hip fire is strong, okay? And this benefits hip fire substantially. You also get a really nice slide to dive speed, but the main reason you're going to want to use this muzzle is for that hip fire control. It's really strong, and the best that you can do outside of using a laser, which you can't do in the competitive rules. And then got the range and bullet velocity barrel, the faster reload. So this gives you less of a magazine, so you only get 30 in a mag rather than 40, I believe. I believe it's 40, but with the addition with the benefit of faster mobility, faster reloading, and when you're actually in just a 4v4 situation, you don't need that many rounds in the magazine. We then have the Herald Grip. This is similar to the ergonomic from Black Ops 6, so it gives you all the mobility you need, all the handling you need, and then obviously you've got that Heritage Stock for that movement, strafe, and hip fire. So again, this is just about that being really quick, but at the same time being able to hip fire, strafe. That's what that means, by the way. When it's a strafing, it means without ADS, otherwise it would say aim walking. That strafe movement speed is really strong here. So this is a really nice, in-your-face, fast build with hip fire involved, okay? So this is what you're going to want to use if you are struggling to track people at those really close ranges, trying to maneuver, trying to hit some shots when you're, sliding, diving, and whatever it might be. Finally-ish, I'm going to say finally-ish because you can see there's an 05 there. This is Abezzy, so completely different to Shotsy. Really interestingly, completely different to Shotsy. He has the recoil stabilizing muzzle, and that is the Hawker stabilizer. The same barrel, the same mag, the same rear grip, but a different stock. So it's just the muzzle and the stock that's different here. The stock on this one is similar to what Dashy's did on the AR. This one enables you to strafe really, really quickly while you're aiming down sight. And this, for me, is my preferred one out of the two. I'm not sort of the way I play isn't reliant on hip firing so much. Even on this game, I am more of a pre-aimer. And obviously, when you look at Shotsy's and Abezzy's play style, if you're into that sort of thing, you'll notice that is the difference here. So this is a really strong class, and this would be my recommendation. So they're the full class setups. What are the pros using as their perks? And it pretty much is standard as this. So you've got Flak Jacket, Fast Hands, Dexterity, and Ninja. However, some are switching out Lightweight here for either Flak Jacket or Ninja. So it's up to you whether you want to move fast, but potentially die from nades more often. It's up to you if you want to move fast, but potentially be heard moving fast, which probably isn't the point, but in which case you swap it for Ninja. But in any case, the middle two are definitely Fast Hands and Dexterity. The other two, you have the option of Flak, Lightweight, Ninja. And to be fair, you could argue you want Tech Mask there, but I think Fast Hands is so useful. This is going to be what you're going to want to use. As far as everything else is concerned, you've got the Jaeger here, which is just as follows, really easy. You've got the ported comp, the muzzle, damage range, barrel, really quick ADS intercept grip, and then you've got some bullet velocity over pressured rounds, just like so, to offset what you don't get in bullet velocity from the barrel. So you do get the velocity just down there. And yeah, everything else is pretty standard. It's stuns, semtexes, maybe frags if you want to use frags, but every other tactical at the moment is GA'd. So yeah, now my 2 cents. So these are the pros. I've got a couple of builds on these elements here. First things first, on the AR, if you are happy and if whatever you're playing in, whether it's 8s or a tournament, if you are allowed to use this gun without a sight, and you can, I would recommend doing so. And my recommendation for that is use Scraps class, take off the optic, put on the aim, walk, move, and speed stock. You get the benefit of both classes, really strong recoil control, really fast movement speed when you're ADSing, but you obviously don't have the yellow sight, and that would be my preference. But obviously you need to make sure that the rules allow you to take off that sight, because that is part of what the pros are saying, is you have to use that sight. Now, some Discords I've seen are allowing the M8 to be used. This one right here. And this is the class you're going to use. You can see I'm max level. I've literally prestiged it twice and got to level 250, which is how I got that lovely dragon camo you saw on the other gun. But this is the class that you're going to want to use. It's super good. You've got the vertical and the first. So it shoots like the M16 from God 4. It shoots like the M8 from Black Ops 3, from Black Ops 2. But the big thing here that you're going to want to have is the flinch resistance stock. In fact, that's the one. That is the attachment you need to keep if you want to copy this. Flinch resistance is key with the M8, and this is going to help you achieve that. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck, have fun, and if you have any builds on top of this that you want me to share, let me know. But obviously I will be updating videos as things change, as new things get released, and obviously season 1, maybe new guns come into the threshold, and we'll maybe get a change in meta. There might be a change in GAs or what's banned and what's usable and things like that. I will keep you guys up to date, of course, throughout that whole process. But if you're playing comp and you want to use comp weapons, these are what you're going to want to use for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao for now.